Tonight on News 5 Live, cruise visitors warmly greeted at Tourism Village. Shipyard family feud turns violent. JPs will be checking mask wearing and distancing at restaurants. And the government condemns the assassination, that is, of Haitian President Moise. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSB, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Introducing Edam A Cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include cath lab, adult intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
DG and the National Bank of Belize are proud to partner with the government of Belize to facilitate the disbursement of Belize COVID-19 cash transfer funds via our safe and easy-to-use mobile pays platform. After getting approval that you will be a beneficiary of the relief funds, you will be informed by SMS when your monthly payment has been deposited to your mobile pays account, which Digistore or National Bank branch you were assigned to, and when you can go in to collect. You must bring along the phone that the notification was sent to in order to present your account number and to receive your validation code and SMS receipt. You must also bring along a valid Social Security card. After your information is verified, you will receive a validation code which you are to give to the agent. The agent will hand over the full amount of funds allotted to you for that month, and you will receive an SMS receipt with a unique number for that transaction. Digi and the National Bank of Belize are committed to the development of innovative services for the benefit of all Belizeans.
Hola, Tony.
Hey, Kevin, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasa?
Nada, le vine a buscar porque necesito comprar más mercancías de vasos y platos desechables para mi tienda de comestible. Me estoy quedando sin esas cosas.
No, hombre, fíjate que desde el 15 de abril no puedo importar nada de eso. Y se me acaba de terminar todo lo que tenía hace como 3 semanas.
Oye, pero nunca has estado sin esas cosas. ¿Qué está pasando?
Mira esto. Esta es la nueva ley que prohíbe todo el uso de plásticos no reutilizables. Esos son vasos, platos, cucharas, tenedores, todo eso. Desde 15 de abril de este año no he podido importar nada de eso. A partir del 15 de enero del 2021 nadie puede fabricarlo. 15 de abril 2021 nadie lo puede vender. Y a partir del 14 de julio del 2021 si alguien te agarra con eso, te multan.
Híjole, no sabía eso. Necesito cambiar algunas cosas. Les diré a mis clientes por qué esas cosas ya no están disponibles. Gracias, Antonio.
Así es, cuídate.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, July 7th. I am Sabrina Daly. It may have been just one ship, but today, after 18 months of no visitors, the 4th Street Tourism Village was buzzing with activity. News 5's Dwayne Moody was back in the area, this time to capture the action.
It was a festive occasion this morning as the Carnival Vista came to port in Belize City. On board were 2,810 passengers, 97% fully vaccinated and ready to experience the culture and adventure of Belize.
And the excitement is super high, you know, just kind of the longest anticipated wait of that first passenger to come off. We have entertainment here, we're doing giveaways. The people are super excited, everyone is following protocols, they're wearing their masks. I'm happy to report that all the tours are really kind of just moving flawlessly. We're just excited to hear the feedback at the end of the day. We get that feedback post-mortem and regroup for next week and make it even better.
As early as 6 a.m. today, bus-lined Marine Parade waiting to pick up their pre-booked passengers, while tour guides stood outside Terminal 1 with their signs ready to greet the tourists as they exit the gates. Protocols set in place. The tenders went out to ferry the tourists from the ship to mainland. Inside the 4th Street Tourism Village was buzzing today with activity after 18 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought the industry to its knees.
The logistical part of it is first of all, you have to get them from the ship. They are wearing stickers that are color-coded that goes for the specific tours, and then they're coordinated once they reach shore to the respective locations for loading. The port itself has also done an extensive investment in just not only the signage for health and safety, but I mean, like you just said, we have the markers that flows, ins and outs, where the demarcations to go outside, the demarcations for the tours. So it's just been a phenomenal day. It's a one-ship day. We are used to one-ship days, so we know that not everybody is going to be open on these days. And it's a one ship and at a lower capacity. So it's kind of just getting that restart happening and start, preparing, ironing our kinks out, kind of get rusty in some of the old protocols. So it's reminding everybody and the new protocols that have come into place. But I mean, everybody, I have to say, the tenants, the employees, the security, just the processes to get into this port is very rigorous. We have health out here, we have port authority out here. The support has just been phenomenal to be able to make today happen.
It was a hassle, really, really, really exciting at the same time frustrating because there are lots of rules and regulations, but that's for our own safety. And then we had a meeting with BTB to get us better prepared for out here. We have all of our stuff sanitized. We get a hands-on training on how to deal with the customers when they come. Basically, nothing new to us that we didn't already know, but just to better off everything.
There were no shortage of adventure. Tourists were guided to buses or boats that took them for aquatic or jungle tours.
So there's a combination of marine tours and land tours. We worked a lot with Niche in getting their sites gold standard. So Altonha, Sunantanich, Nohochen, and Lamanai. So those are all tours that are ongoing today. And then our marine tours, we're doing private islands and we're doing Holchan.
So they're separated, so different terminals for different things.
Yeah. So we just have to separate so that we continue with the social distancing, making sure no congestions, families together. It's just continue everybody. You can see everyone's wearing their masks and being safe and sanitizing and just making today successful.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
In crime news, a resident of Tigress Street in Belize City was shot and killed on Tuesday night. That shooting has also left a woman from George Street in the hospital. Today, police were tight-lipped about the details and didn't disclose a motive, but they say they are prepared for any retaliation. News 5's Andrea Polanco reports.
20-year-old Stephen Bowen was shot and killed as he stood on Plue Street in Belize City around 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. Reports are that Bowen was hanging out in a crowd. 19-year-old Shanice Williams was also in the immediate area. She sustained gunshot injuries and is hospitalized.
So far, police have confirmed that yes, one Stefan Bowen, 20-year-old, was standing on Plea Street talking with some friends when they were approached by a lone person on bicycle that opened fire in their direction. Mr. Bowen was shot. He was transported to KHMH and succumbed around 11:50 last night whilst undergoing treatment. Ms. Williams was also transported to the KHMH and is listed in a stable but serious condition.
Were those two friends?
Well, from what we have gathered so far, yes, they were friends. They were talking along with other people, not only the two of them. No?
Sir, group out there, are you able to say if Bowen was the intended target?
That we cannot answer at this moment.
Police say they are yet to confirm what led to this deadly attack.
At this moment, we do not have a known motive for this shooting, but like you rightfully said, no known murder. But hopefully our investigators who are still out there on the grounds might come up with a theory very soon for us. Huh?
Sir, is there anything related to perhaps some rivalry between gang groups in that area? Do you know if that's anything ongoing at this moment?
What I can tell you is that it is very strange when you hear that shooting happened in this area. So we are examining every angle, whether it's retaliating groups or whether it's from friends gone sour, we do not know at this time.
But now police are looking at possible retaliation as a result of this latest shooting. Shooting victim Shanice Williams of George Street is the sister of Gerald Tillett Jr., who was gunned down back in May. Both are the children of murdered gang leader Gerald Shiny Tillett. Commissioner Chester Williams sounded an early warning to the gangs.
We do have things in place to mitigate any retaliation. But let me say that the George Street, the Wagners Lane, the Mayflower, and the Bannock crowd, they will get what they're looking for very shortly.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
The Bowen family declined comment today. Was it a kidnapping or a case of vigilante justice? That is the question tonight following an incident in Shipyard, a Mennonite community that usually goes about its business in a laid-back and non-violent routine. Earlier this week, that peace was shattered when several members of one family viciously attacked a fellow resident at his job site, tossed him inside a waiting pickup, took him by force to a distant location, and then gave him a sound beating. It is reportedly the result of an argument between two young men. This morning, reporter Isani Cayetano headed to Orange Walk District, where he found out more about what happened in Shipyard.
20-year-old Abram Andres is recovering from injuries he received on Monday evening when he was snatched from his place of work and walloped by 6 men, including 5 members of the Petcow family. The incident happened in the Mennonite community of Shipyard. Andres, a butcher at Central Meat Distributors, was inside his slaughterhouse at Camp 18 when a white Ford F-150 pickup arrived on the scene. The men alighted the vehicle, entered the facility, and took him against his will to Camp 40, where they proceeded to administer a vicious beating on him.
Police responded to a scene in the Shipyard community. And when they got there, they stopped the F-150 pickup that had 5 occupants. These persons were searched, and based on a tip, police entered the building not too far from where they stopped these persons, where they found the complainant, who claimed that he was brought from another community, another area in the Shipyard, by these same 5 men, and he was beaten by them. He's claiming that, and he was left in that building.
According to Andres, who spoke with News 5 off record for fear of reprisal, the abduction was precipitated by a verbal exchange with a member of the pet cow family sometime prior. What he did not foresee was the involvement of the young man's siblings or his father. Once in their custody, Andres was physically assaulted and whipped repeatedly with an electrical cord. His back bears the brunt of the injuries he received at the hands and the feet of the pet cows.
We are investigating this from two different angles. One, you were brought to an area from another area that would be some form of kidnapping, and he's saying that they use violence against him. He has not shared with investigators as yet what was the reason for them going for him at one spot and taking him to another.
It's an unusual occurrence considering the fact that Mennonite communities across the country are known for their peaceful way of life.
Those persons who had done that kidnapping have been charged by police, and they were expected to appear in Orange Walk Magistrate Court this afternoon.
This afternoon, 41-year-old Johan Petkow, 32-year-old Jacob Petkow, 25-year-old George Petkow, and 18-year-old Franz Petkow, and 18-year-old Angel Ayala of August Pine Ridge appeared before the magistrate's court in Orange Walk town. They were charged jointly for kidnapping and aggravated assault and pleaded not guilty. With the exception of another male minor who was granted bail in the sum of $5,000, all 5 adults were remanded to custody at the Belize Central Prison until August 10th. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
In the latest development in the saga of Jasmine Hartin, charged last month with manslaughter by negligence for the shooting death of Superintendent Henry Jamot, Hartin and her family have set up a GoFundMe account, attempting to raise money from the public for her new defense. The story of the fatal shooting of the top cop and Hartin's subsequent arrest has captured international headlines for weeks now, and Hartin has insisted it was all an accident. Last week, after being released on bail for the second time after spending a total of 2 weeks on remand, a video emerged showing Jasmine hitting targets with a shotgun. This and several other pictures of her at shooting ranges have created a social media buzz that Hartin might have experience in handling guns. Well, News 5 has learned that a witness to a previous gun incident involving Hartin has come forward. Reports are that sometime during the COVID lockdown in May last year, Hartin accidentally discharged a firearm of a security guard while attempting to clean the gun. The incident reportedly occurred near a poolside and was witnessed by several people. The bullet hit the balcony and left a visible mark, and luckily no one was hurt. Police say that they have made some progress into the investigations of the robberies at Belize Healthcare Partners and Biltmore that happened earlier this week. Director of Communications Fitzroy Yearwood says that they are trying to connect the dots in these heists. Here's what the police know so far.
So far, we have persons detained. We have 2 vehicles impounded that we believe may have been used in the orchestration of these crimes. And as soon as investigators believe they have enough evidence to charge, then I will be able to give you a proper, detailed interview about that.
On the matter of the John Doe found dead in San Ignacio on Monday, police say that they believe they are close to verifying the identity of the victim. Here's more from ASP Yearwood on the Belize Police Department.
We believe that we're closer to establishing an identity. So far, our investigators got a name. They're just trying to verify, because we don't want to put a name out there and have to do a retraction of any form. And yes, investigators are looking at a suspect that they believe could shed more light on this incident. Hopefully by, I don't like to give myself a timeline, but hopefully pretty soon we would be able to release everything as soon as we establish the true identity of the victim of this crime.
On Tuesday, we brought you the story of Ramiro De la Rosa, the 27-year-old father from Duck Run 2 community who received a 3-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to a gun charge. De la Rosa's father had died, but late last week, police in San Ignacio got wind that there was a gun in the house, searched the premises and found the shotgun. Ramiro and his wife were taken to the station where Ramiro agreed after taking advice from a justice of the peace and the police, not an attorney, that pleading guilty to the possession of an illegal firearm was the right course of action. He apparently wanted to prevent his wife from being charged and did not know the penalty that accompanies the offense. The sentencing drew outrage from a cross-section of Cayo residents and prompted activists. Businesswoman and politician Nancy Marin to take action. She told News 5 today that she has submitted a letter to Governor General Forla Salam begging for pardon for De la Rosa. She has also started a social media campaign called Justice for Ramiro.
Well, I have known this family since I guess before Ramiro was even born. I knew the parents, and I know that they're an honest, hard-working family, never in trouble, just doing their farming, earning a good living, contributing to our community. And when his sister called me on Friday and told me that Ramiro was arrested and given 3 years, he rushed to court, it didn't seem something was wrong. And so I tried to dig more into it. The family themselves are very innocent of the law, very timid people, and so they all were scared and didn't know what to do, where to turn. But Ramiro De la Rosa has underlying issues. Since he was a boy, his lungs is very weak. He has stomach issues. He has anxiety attacks very often, and this is years. This is not just from now. So I knew that somebody like that cannot take that kind of pressure. And I went to try to see what we can do. We called everybody in authority, from politicians to police officers to the commissioner to everybody, to see what we could do, only to be told that the court's ruling is the final word and there was nothing anybody can do. And we sent in a printed petition with some of the signatures, because we got more afterwards, to the Governor General by registered mail, so she should be receiving that today. We did a petition to plead to the Governor General because we were advised that under Section 52 of the law, she could grant him pardon. And we're hoping that she will listen to our plea.
De la Rosa remains hospitalized under police guard at the private institution. On Tuesday, attorney Arthur Saldivar told News 5 that De la Rosa can also appeal his sentence. Attorney O.J. Elrington has offered to take on De la Rosa's case pro bono in the event their appeal to the Governor General is not successful. Commission of Police Chester Williams commented today on the Ramiro De la Rosa case. He says it is out of police hands now, but he finds the situation to be very unfortunate and supports an appeal.
I was made aware of the matter after he had pled guilty and was already at prison. And it's a rather unfortunate situation. The truth of the matter is, if I were made aware of it prior to him going to court, considering the explanation or the facts that have came out since, something else could have been done as opposed to charging him and taking him before a court. But the fact that he had gone to court, have pled guilty, and the court have imposed a jail sentence, that is now out of the hands of the police. There's nothing that the police can do at this time. I have advised those persons who have reached out to me on the matter for them to see how the young man could get an attorney, and perhaps the attorney can appeal the sentence that the court have imposed, because it is a situation where he pled guilty, and so the only thing he can practically appeal would be the sentence. And I would want to think that any court of appellate jurisdiction, taking into consideration the new facts that had arisen, would surely reverse that custodial sentence.
Coming up, we'll have today's proceedings in the Senate, and Paul Lopez asked the president of the VNTU whether she has been vaccinated or not. Find out her response when we come back.
RFNG has been a part of my growth. We have gone from working from just an office to also working from home. And I'm in between both. And I have a very supportive staff that helps me to get that done. And I also have a great company behind me that supports the changing times that we're going through. I am your neighbor, I am your friend, I am your RFNG agent.
Find your nearest RFNG agent on our website at rfginsuranceBelize.com, where it pays to get it right.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
3 new opposition senators were sworn in during today's Senate meeting. Additionally, a motion was passed to increase the salary of the Governor General by up to $30,000. And the Senator for Government Business, Eamon Courtney, called for peace in Haiti following the assassination of its president. News 5's Paul Lopez sat inside the National Assembly during today's meeting. He filed the following report.
Today's sitting of the Senate began with the swearing in of 3 new opposition senators.
I, Darrell Bradley, do swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Belize.
I, Shari Medina, do swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Belize and will uphold the Constitution and the law.
I, Ashton Mackenzie, do swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Belize and will uphold the Constitution and the law.
Both Mackenzie and Medina were sworn in as temporary senators. Thereafter, Senator for Government Business, who is also Belize's Minister of Foreign Affairs, rose to speak on the assassination of the President of Haiti, Jovenel Moïse. The government of Belize called for peace and safety in Haiti.
The situation in Haiti is particularly grim. Prior to his death, there was a serious constitutional question as to the continuing legitimacy of President Moïse and his authority to continue to govern Haiti. Indeed, he has for many months been governing by presidential decree, having dissolved necessary organs of state. There is a question whether or not his actions were indeed lawful. There is widespread violence, wanton killing, gangs are running wild in Haiti, and in fact there is a virtual complete breakdown of law and order in that republic, a member of the CARICOM family. We believe in Belize and indeed in CARICOM, Madam President, that Haiti requires urgent attention. There is an urgent need for the restoration of law and order. There is an urgent need for elections to be held in Haiti.
Haiti's congressional and presidential elections have been scheduled for September and November. Following a moment of silence for President Moïse, a motion was raised for the increase of the Governor General's salary from $54,000 annually to $85,000 annually. A bill was also brought from the House to limit the GG's tenure to 7 years.
The cost of living in 1989, when this law was passed, has risen dramatically to where we are in 2021. And therefore, the purpose of this motion and the bill is to take account of what we experience in Belize in terms of the cost of living increase. We believe that whoever assumes that office and serves Belize in that capacity should take office with comfort that they need not worry, they need not be concerned for their health whilst they serve and thereafter, that they will be taken care of by the state of Belize.
The difficulty that I do have in relation to the motion is the timing. And I think that recently the significant portion of our population has been called upon to bear sacrifices. We have had in this honorable House a passage of law that has reduced the salaries for public officers and teachers by 10%. We've had a situation where a significant amount of the private sector are struggling.
We agree with the government proposal and with some of what Prime Minister Briceño had said in relation to our Governor General. It has been long overdue. It has been long overdue. And yes, I joined my colleagues before me in congratulating this and feeling very grateful for the stellar service from our previous Governor General, Sir Colville-Young. He deserved better than he got. He did deserve better than he got.
At this point in time, what the current salary is, we believe at this point in time, that the DG is able to live off of that. And that whatever increase is deserving after we would have done, you know, job classification exercise, whatever it is that there needs to be done to ensure that the DG is properly compensated for the post that she holds and the work that she carries out or that she must carry out, because we are aware that there are several duties of the DG that are not all of them are carried out.
Finally, the Senate debated a bill to amend the Finance and Audit Reform Act to provide for the establishment of a contingency fund to be used for urgent and unforeseen expenditures.
The Financial Secretary has told the senators that what has happened and has always happened is, one, no contingencies fund has ever been created by the government and funded as required by the Constitution. And therefore, when a hurricane hits, there's a flood, there's COVID or other unforeseen emergencies, the government has to go to existing budget lines and to withdraw monies from there and then bring a supplementary. What we seek to do is, in order to comply with the constitutional mandate, is to create the contingencies fund, which would then have a budget, a line in the budget. Therefore, when an emergency hits, which is unforeseen, there will be funds already appropriated by Parliament for that purpose, which can only be withdrawn by a warrant by the Minister.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Attorneys at law Magali Perdomo and Darrell Bradley will be representing the Belize National Teachers Union in their case against the government of Belize over the 10% salary cut. The case comes up next week. Following today's Senate meeting, BNTU National President Elena Smith shared some details of the case.
The matter was filed in court, and we are looking at the matter of the 10%. And we are simply looking at it from the angle of the contracts that our teachers have signed. Our teachers, you know that they do sign contracts, and those contracts indicate what their salaries should be and for what period. And as such, we are saying that because you have a contract, then for the government to just go and cut your salaries, it has an impact on your contract that you have signed. And so that is the angle that we are using in going to court.
How many teachers are being represented here that has contracts?
Well, all teachers have a contract.
All teachers have a contract.
For you to be employed, they must sign a contract.
Okay.
So it is covering, for right now, we are looking at the denominational schools, and then, but we'll be looking at teachers across levels.
Okay. What's the level of success you anticipate in this case at this point?
Well, I think you don't go to court if you don't expect to be victorious. So we are hoping that we will be victorious in this one.
President of the Belize National Teachers Union, Elena Smith, says the government of Belize is going through the back door to make it mandatory for teachers and other frontline workers to get vaccinated. To date, approximately 60% of teachers across the country have been vaccinated. A new statutory instrument now mandates that teachers and frontline workers who do not get vaccinated in the month of July will have to present a PCR test every 2 weeks. But with a 10% salary cut in effect, President Smith says teachers will not be able to afford a test every 2 weeks. Additionally, Smith argues that there are legitimate concerns about the vaccine among teachers.
The issue that we have in terms of this pronouncement is the fact that we have been saying that the vaccines are not mandatory. So you determine as an individual whether you're going to be tested or not. And while the government may be saying that, well, we are not mandating, what you put behind what you are saying comes across as you are making it mandatory. So you are telling me that it's not mandatory, but if I don't have it by this date, this is what I must be doing. Considering the fact that you have cut my salary by 10%, you expect me to go and pay for a test every 2 weeks because you want to make it mandatory. And so those are the concerns that our people, and not just our teachers, but I think our workers in general, well, especially those that are listed as frontline workers. But we do not see the ministers listed as frontline workers. And so I'm not sure why is it that they're not listed as frontline workers either. But anyway, those are the concerns that our teachers have. How do you expect that
I who have a concern, a legitimate concern with regard to taking this vaccine, not that I don't want to, but because I have a legitimate health concern, you are now telling me that I am going through the back door to make it mandatory for you to take the vaccine. And I know that there's going to be the argument that, well, yes, we have rights, but if your rights infringe on other people's rights, then we can do certain things. So there's going to be the legal aspect to that. But at this point in time, that is the sentiments coming from our teachers.
We also found out that President Smith has not yet taken the COVID-19 vaccine. She spoke to News 5 about her reasons and asserted that everyone has their own choice to make.
On a personal level, have you gotten the vaccination as yet?
Not as yet.
Okay, you're planning to?
I haven't thought about it as yet. I know that some people are using it as well. The president hasn't gotten her vaccination, and so how come the teachers get? But we have seen that we have had 60 to 80% of our teachers who have been vaccinated. And as I said earlier, it's a personal choice, and all of us have a reason, whether it's fair or whether it's health matters, that, why we haven't done so as yet. And we have that choice to make. So I don't think that anybody can fault anybody who decides not to do it as yet. It's just your choice.
Following its presentation in the House of Representatives last week Friday, the conversation on the legalization of marijuana as an economic opportunity has been getting pushback from various sectors, including the churches. Today, the media caught up with Minister of New Growth Industry, Karim Musa, who introduced the bill in the House. He says that the reaction was expected, but he believes the benefits of allowing cultivation, production, and sale of ganja outweighs the cons.
I totally respect the view of the churches. I am certainly not surprised by the position that they have taken and have been vocal about, in particular Pastor Wade. It's no secret how he feels about it. But at the same time, I come from a generation that can see the advantage of the economic upturn from something like this. And so, like I keep saying, we already have legislation in place since 2017 that made 10 grams legal for you to have in your possession. But what that actually created was an entire irresponsible scenario whereby we don't know where exactly you are to get this from. Where you can't grow it and you certainly can't buy it. And so it's just taking advantage of that. And I don't see it really as a religious issue per se.
Leader of the opposition spoke to basically supporting the idea, but that the smaller stakeholders, that they are afforded the opportunity. Your take to that in terms of ensuring that the small man will get a piece of the pie and not just these multinationals?
Yes, this particular legislation that we presented had the input of small individuals as well. I've been consulting a wide range of people, and I have to say that this particular legislation is so unique because I've not seen it anywhere else in the world that has legalized the industry around marijuana, include provisions inside the legislation for a social equity license. We are referring to it as the Cannabis Unity Project License. And so there's actually going to be a Cannabis Unity Project coordinator sitting on our board, on our commission that determines licenses to ensure that the small man is protected, not just in terms of cultivation, but if they want to come up with a brand, if they want to come up with a manufacturing or processing of oils, if they want to even have a dispensary. As you know, 99% of Belizeans right now that are actually engaged in the trade are dispensaries, so to speak, but we call them drug dealers right now. But actually, so we're already in that trade, so it's just to convert that and formalize that and turn it into a tax-generating, income-generating venture for the government.
Now, it is no secret that spiraling criminal activity, including murders, are often associated with the illegal drug trade in both Belize City and other parts of the country. Minister of Home Affairs and New Growth Industry says that the proposed legislation is expected to reduce these violent crimes.
In states that have taken advantage of this opportunity, Dwayne, we have actually seen where crime has gone down. So there's a huge boost to the economy. Like I said, you get jobs created all across the industry. And so the opportunities that are going to be there, not just to partake as an owner or a grower, but employees all around, it certainly creates that environment. And that is why in the act, we actually refer to it as the Cannabis Unity Project, because it will take the coming together of these communities, the same communities that are warring factions, to come together to see how we can structure it, how we can come up with a formula that ensures that we will not be continuing this war. We no longer have to dodge from the cartels of Mexico and bring it in illegally and all of that. The price of it is going to go down drastically, the quality is going to go up, but at the same time we have to ensure that it's spread across, so everybody is involved. But if it is that you're going to be killing one another, then we have to pull back. We have to look at it and assess.
After the break, Minister Musa gives an update on COVID regulations, including that tests will be free for frontline workers. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels, powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
In exercise of the power conferred upon it by Section 7 of the Electricity Act, Chapter 221 of the Laws of Belize, and with the approval of the Minister, the Public Utilities Commission PUC, the Commission hereby notifies the general public that it intends to enact a bylaw in relation to electricity procurement and power purchase. The bylaw shall govern the procurement processes for wholesale, distributed energy resources, and short-term power purchases by addressing the roles of the Commission and the utilities. The bylaw seeks to secure public welfare, national security, and services at the best value for money. Further clarify the exercise by the Commission of its duties under the Public Utilities Commission Act and Electricity Act. Provide for increased conservation and efficiency of electricity resources by utilities and equitable retail rates for consumers, and detail the RFP and PPA processes. Regulatory tools to achieve the Commission's public interest mandate of setting tariffs for the provision of electricity service to the public. Members of the public are invited to give their comments by email info@puc.bz or post by 17 July 2021. The draft bylaw may be viewed in its entirety at the offices of the Commission at 41 Gabriel Lane, Belize City, or on the PUC website at www.puc.bz.
I need to try it first.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
This morning, the government of Belize condemned in the strongest terms the assassination of the president of Haiti, Jovenel Moïse. A release from GOB says, quote, "Such a heinous act of political violence has no place in democratic societies or in the Caribbean community, which is firmly committed to the rule of law and democratic principles." The Belize government extends its deepest condolences to the people of Haiti and expresses the hope that with regional and international solidarity and support, the Haitian people will emerge from this latest crisis to find a path to peace and stability, unquote. According to Reuters news agency, the president's wife, Martine, was also shot in the attack at around 1 a.m. local time at their home in the hills above Port-au-Prince and has been flown to Miami for treatment. A state of emergency has been declared in Haiti, and the Dominican Republic closed the border it shares with Haiti on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, except to returning citizens. Here's a brief report from Reuters news agency on the assassination and the social unrest in Haiti.
A president killed overnight at his home. The interim Haitian Prime Minister Claude Joseph announcing the news Wednesday that President Jovenel Moïse had been shot dead, calling the killing an inhumane and barbaric act. He said Moïse was shot by unidentified attackers. He added that Moïse's wife was injured and was receiving medical care. The attack comes amid a rising wave of politically linked violence in the impoverished Caribbean nation, with Haiti politically divided and facing a growing humanitarian crisis and shortages of food. There are fears of widespread disorder. Gunshots could be heard throughout Port-au-Prince. The capital had been suffering an increase in violence as gangs battle one another and police for control of the streets. The violence fueled by an increase in poverty and political instability. Moïse had faced fierce protests since he took office as president in 2017, with the opposition accusing him this year of seeking to install a dictatorship by overstaying his mandate, charges he denied.
Minister of Home Affairs Carrie Musa today responded to questions about the new quarantine regulations requiring bi-weekly results of a COVID-19 test if frontline workers do not get vaccinated by August 1st. As we reported on Tuesday, there was concern that employees may threaten staff with termination if they are unwilling to take the jab. While there have been no such cases reported, Minister Musa was asked if the SI in any way violates a person's right to choose.
It's not forcing, first of all, and that's a huge misconception out there, because we're not mandating anybody to take the vaccine. It's not mandatory that you take the vaccine, but at the same time we have to understand we have to take ownership and be responsible in ourselves. In a pandemic such as this, and this is all across the Caribbean, courts are looking at this already and realizing that we have public health measures that are in place not to punish people. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to save lives, quite the opposite of what everybody is perceiving these regulations to be, because they say, oh, it's oppressive and why do you have us doing that? But we're actually trying to save lives. And so if it is challenged in the Caribbean, and I've seen legal opinions that say it is actually not unconstitutional to make it mandatory to get vaccinations. But again, we're not even there. We're not even discussing that. All we're saying is to take one harmless test in the event you choose not to get your vaccination. And so because it's a public health measure in a time of a serious pandemic such as this one, I would be very surprised to hear courts say that it's unconstitutional to request that you have a negative test.
And the public may be surprised to learn that, according to Minister Musa, the tests are available for free at public health facilities across the country for frontline workers. The cost to take the COVID-19 test every 2 weeks will be free for cops as frontline workers. Here's more from Commissioner Williams.
Yes, we do have a number of persons who do not wish to take the vaccine. Yes, we do have a number of persons who do not wish to take the vaccine. And while, yes, we continue to encourage our officers to do so because we do understand the importance of the vaccination, it is going to take some time for some people, longer than others. And people, I think, just want to be comforted that the vaccine is okay and that it's going to be safe to take it. And once they have come to that self-consciousness, then they're going to take it. And so we just got to be patient and give them that opportunity to see if they're going to make up their minds and take the vaccine and stop listening to the anti-vaxxers who are out there trying to persuade them not to take the vaccination.
Sir, they have until August 1st, I believe, when you either take the vaccine or you do the test every 2 weeks. So what's their concern about that? Any concerns about the cost?
Well, the minister have said that the cost of the test every 2 weeks is going to be free. So it is not going to come at any cost to the officers. And so if it is that they don't want to take the vaccine and government do have a policy, then it is our duty to ensure the policy of the government is enforced.
Sir, is there a concern? I have heard a voice message, I know you have too, about some officers who are saying they want to generate a petition against what they feel is being forced to take the vaccine. I'm told you have met with them or one of the leaders of this group?
Yes, I did meet yesterday with members of the police association, and I discussed that matter with them, and we have come to some agreement in terms of how we're going to proceed with this issue. My office issued a memorandum yesterday, an internal memo to police officers explaining the process, because I do not want for there to be any misconception that there is the notion of forced vaccination, because that is not the case.
But what about enforcement, ensuring that businesses and government departments or even NGOs are adhering to the regulations? Who will ultimately be responsible?
Well, we're going to have public health inspectors from the Ministry of Health that will do regular checks at the establishments that have frontline workers. So we're talking restaurants and of course the different tour operators, tour guides, and all the other ministerial offices as well, where we have police officers, military, doctors, nurses. So the Ministry of Health will have their public health inspectors to do these regular checks to ensure that the persons in charge of the different establishments, whether it is a head of department or whether it is an entrepreneur, the owner of a restaurant, they will have to account and provide the information, the negative test, to the public health inspectors so that we can keep a tab on it. The JPs, they will only be responsible for going into the establishments to ensure that everybody is following the regulations, that they're actually staying at their tables, that they are with their pod, so to speak, that they came with, and that there is no socializing with others, there's no dancing, there's no mingling. So that is going to be the role of the JPs. Of course, they will not be able to arrest anyone or charge anyone with a ticket, but in the event patrons are not following the warnings issued by a particular JP, the JP can then contact the police department to step in to issue a ticket or to charge them if it's the owner of an establishment who is allowing a social gathering to take place.
Just ahead, community policing gets a boost with a new police station and a booth. Details coming up.
Electricity is an essential part of our daily lives. We use lights and household appliances every day. Therefore, we must ensure our homes are wired properly. At Benny's, we have certified wires with the right gauges and insulation. BEL certified meter sockets, authentic GE and Square D panel boxes and breakers, which protect the wires inside your home from being overloaded. When wiring your home, avoid imitation brands which can be very dangerous. Give yourself and your family peace of mind using genuine electrical products available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
What is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, as defined by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is said to be the process of our planet heating up. The Earth has warmed by an average of 1 degree Celsius in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means big things for humans and wildlife around the globe. Rising temperatures is making our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Some impacts of climate change in Belize are flooding, drought, unstable weather patterns, and changes in seasons that affect agriculture, human, and wildlife activities. What is REDD+? REDD+ is a mitigation activity to reduce carbon emissions and increase carbon stock in the forest sector. The name REDD+ stands for Reducing Emission from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, plus Conservation, Sustainable Management of Forest and Carbon Stock Enhancement. How can REDD+ be a solution? Trees breathe the greenhouse gases we produce. We can start caring more for our forests by planting more trees and keeping our landscapes intact. Our forests are part of the solution. Also, by encouraging the adoption of sustainable forest management in Belize, we can help restore forests that have been lost.
Forests are linked to all aspects of human well-being. Think about the clean air that forests provide, that oxygen that we breathe. If it wasn't so clean, especially during that fire season, we would actually be facing a lot of problems. So breathing clean air is something that we may take for granted, but it's actually something that forest provides and that contributes to our health and happiness. One of the advantages of doing things associated with REDD+ in Belize is that it actually is a great mechanism for us to be able to maintain forests while at the same time sustainably using them and keeping all the services and goods that the forest provides to us intact, for example, water. At night, it's the trees and the plants in the forest that actually release that water that goes up in the atmosphere and eventually comes back as rain. If we don't have forests, that water is gone. If we think about our food security and the food that we eat, the agriculture industry and how important it is for Belize, we don't necessarily associate it sometimes with actual forest. But it's those forests that actually feed the soil organisms that cycle the nutrients and make our soils fertile. It's those forests that are a house and home for pollinators that pollinate our crops. And it's those forests that maintain the water that our agricultural areas need to thrive. Otherwise, we would be subject to things like droughts.
There is hope with REDD+.
The Belize Police Department has relocated its Precinct 1 police station to King Street in Belize City. According to the police officials, the newly renovated building has sufficient space and comes equipped with amenities to boost the morale of the cops who will work there. Today, the Belize Police Department held a ribbon-cutting ceremony, and News 5 stopped in at the inauguration.
The Precinct 1 area, I must say, is not one of, but it is the most challenging area of policing in this country. And I will repeat that. The Precinct 1 jurisdiction is the most challenging area of policing in the country of Belize. And you all would know the reason why. And if you would just step outside the gate and you look around, you see a ghetto. When you move around, the area is heavily gang infested. And it is not just gang infested. We do have gangs who are at war with each other. And so Mr. Castillo would say to you that over the past few days, the area have had a number of gunshots being fired, particularly in the late evening and early morning hours. And these are challenges that the police officers who work in this area must address and must deal with on a daily basis. And so you would understand that to ensure that these officers work from a location that they can come and relax after having taken a patrol is very important, not only for their health, but also for their well-being. And so we're extremely grateful, Minister, for allowing us to get this new location, and more so to make sure that the money is made available to pay for it.
The commission we give is to focus on interventions, prevention, shared responsibility, partnership, and opportunities. This opportunity will shock this precinct community and create a refreshing turning point for this vulnerable area of our city. The truth is that the more work we do outside the walls of this police station, the less broken lives we will have to deal with inside the police station. The precinct community has the church attended to by our first Governor General. That church is 100 feet away from here on West Street. This precinct is home to the iconic Stone Jam. It is the area that raised the constitutional attorney and my very good friend Anthony Sylvester, who still lives up the street, as well as the former female ombudsman Cynthia Pitts, whose house is literally across the street. This precinct community is where you can get the best jam roll from Ditz and the family of Mr. Craig, or where the legendary Mr. Trejos Panades are served hot. The uniform, the power, nor the station should separate us from the people we serve. Neither should the bad eggs and the criminal elements, because they are the minority. This station today is a positive shift, a new start, fresh paint, new spaces, better working areas inside. But the test of how the community sees us is in how we treat them.
Immediately following the opening of the police station on King Street, the Minister of Home Affairs and the Commissioner of Police went over to the Lopez Mateo Park in the Kings Park area to inaugurate a police booth.
Thanks to the Kings Park Neighborhood Watch Group for the donation of the booth in the Lopez Mateo Park for police officers to operate. We know that the Kings Park area have had some issues with burglaries as well as robberies, and so that park, we believe, is strategically located for us to post police officers on a daily basis, as well as to give them the necessary resources in terms of motorcycle or bicycle to do patrols within that very once quiet community. So we believe that our presence there is going to restore that sense of safety and security for the people who live within that particular area.
Williams says the police booth will be manned 24/7. A portion of New River, which stretches from the toll bridge to Trial Farm Village in Orange Walk District, remains critically stressed and shows the highest levels of chlorophyll and lowest levels of dissolved oxygen. According to the Department of the Environment, this is indicative of an algal bloom, which is detrimental to aquatic life. The DEO says that the area is being affected mainly by industrial, agricultural, and urban discharges. On Friday, government announced via press release that consultations have begun with various stakeholder groups that reside within the New River watershed. The process will provide valuable insight into stakeholders' views, concerns, and recommendations for consideration in developing a management plan to restore and conserve the New River watershed. Industries, farmers, and the public can assist by ensuring that they are complying within their property with adequate waste management practices and vegetation buffer along the river to reduce the organic load entering the river. Just ahead, a beautiful seaside spot is about to get even nicer and educational. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Why should you wear your mask? To protect myself. My friends. My family and others. I wear my mask because I love my grandparents. With so many reasons to wear a mask, we continue to advise persons to wear a face mask properly, covering both nose and mouth. Together, we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800-A-WAY-OUT or our cell phone number, 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Yes, no. Yes, yes, no. I need to try it first.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
The Ministry of Blue Economy, Belize City Council, and the Caribbean Shores Area Representative have joined forces to improve the Seashore Park in Buttonwood Bay. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports on the plans to retrofit the area with features reflecting the ministry.
On this side of the park, we're going to have the blue economy features, and then on this side, the civil aviation features. So we're going to have concrete dolphins, fish, that sort of thing, so that the kids can play on. We're going to have an actual tower, a civil aviation tower, and we're going to have some small little planes, some installation of some airplanes and helicopters and that sort of thing. And then on the top of this roof, which is to me the greatest feature, is an actual painting of the blue hole.
Those are among the features that will be installed in the weeks ahead at Seashore Park, where the Belize sign is located. Today, it was officially announced that the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation was adopting the park, which will be co-managed by the Belize City Council, the area rep, and private sector partners.
Actually, I have to acknowledge that the CEO came up with the idea, so we have this park here, and also acknowledging our neighbors and the corporate citizen that is Mr. Pereira. So we have seen that he has been doing his part. So we thought that we can function this and adopt it and let it complement our offices that we have here in Buttonwood Bay. So it's symbolic, but it means that behind this symbolism that we're having here, adopting this park, there's a lot of work to be done under the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation. We're excited.
The park falls under the Belize City Council, so we are making sure that these entities who are willing to collaborate with us to take over the park is doing it in regards to our regulations. We have to make sure that when our residents use the park, it is safe, it is child-friendly, and we have people enjoying it to the best of their ability.
The plans to renovate the park are being welcomed by Caribbean Shores area rep Karim Musa, who says that residents from the area use Seashore Drive for many things, including recreational activities and to exercise.
As you know, many years ago, good corporate citizen, Mr. Steve Pereira, took on taking care of the park and introduced the whole concept of having the Belize sign here, which is a huge, huge attraction, not just for the locals, but also for the tourists. With the first cruise ship that arrived today, some actually came out to take photographs. So it's very utilized, and so we're very grateful And I am very proud as the area representative for Caribbean Shores to have this collaborative effort with the ministry and with good corporate citizens coming together for a very good cause to beautify this park, to enhance it, and to make it very interactive, of course, for the kids.
The ministry says it plans to adopt the entire stretch of Seashore Drive. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.